What's up, YouTube? Welcome to this week's edition of Deep Into the Meta. Sorry I have been late on this. Yeah, let me just go on to it. Today we're doing X Sabers. And X Sabers have been around since last format. They were introduced in Nation Prophecy, but they didn't have enough support really to stand on their own two legs. It wasn't until last format where Rescue Cat and Double Airabellums and Faltro, thanks to Shining Darkness, and of course Full Knights were very popular and very useful. It actually helped the deck rise to top tier, and they proved themselves to be a threat. This format, they have been slowed down greatly. They lost a lot of power, but however, they can still be a threat. Let's move on to the cards themselves. Let's start with the staples on monsters. The first card I'm going to go into is Double X Saber Faltro. I don't know any X Saber deck that doesn't use this card. It's so powerful. It's so abusable. Faltro truly shines when it comes to swarming. It can't be normal summon except, but it's a Nami monster. Once you do special summon it by fulfilling its condition, which is when you control two or more X Saber monsters, you could basically put it on the field. Thing about it is, if it gets destroyed, you can still call it a haunted, or monster reborn it after you have successfully special summoned it with its condition. So it can be a pain in the ass. What it does is it lets you special summon from the grave, and it's a 2400 beast stick level 6, and it's very useful for the synchros. It's just amazing. It's really good. Next, we're moving on to Bogart Knight. Because Rescue Cat was kicked off from the deck thanks to the new ban list, September 2010, they have been forced to use more than one copy of Bogart Knight. Last format, X Sabers only had one copy or two copies of Bogart Knight, and really it wasn't that effective. Bogart Knight would only help with Faltro, but you didn't even need that because Gotham's Emergency Call, trap I'm going to be getting into later, really helped out. And Bogart Knight kind of seemed like inferior. This format, however, he is a must, at least in threes, because he really speeds up the deck. He gives it that Blackwing swarming ability. He also gives them that, marauding captain. Plus, he's a 1900 level 4 beater, and he's a quick entry into Double X Saber Hyunlei, a synchro, which is really what's keeping X Sabers on the map. Moving on. Double X Saber Full Knight and Airabellum. These tuners are must in X Sabers. If you're playing X Sabers, you will definitely see at least one Airabellum, which isn't a surprise. Airabellum was ran in 3 last format, thanks to the fact that Rescue Cat will bring out 2 more if you haven't already summoned Dark Soul, Double X Saber Dark Soul. But Full Knight is a definite this format. He's amazing. You can use him to just block an attack, saving your level 3 tuner, or attacking a face-down Book of Moon target, and then special summoning another X Saber from your graveyard and just synchro swarming right then and there. It's amazing. Full Knight is very good. Most builds I have seen lately run 2. I haven't seen a build yet that runs 3. I guess 3 is too much, but 2 is definitely good. It's a must. And 1 Airabellum. I wouldn't recommend running more than one. Yeah, just 1 Airabellum. Stick to 1. Card I'm moving on to now is Double X Saber Dark Soul. Dark Soul, really, it can help you in so many ways. He's like the Sangan of the deck. Once he hits the grave, you just benefit. One thing I've seen a lot of newbie X Saber players do is send Dark Soul to the grave and forget to activate the effect during end phase. So if you're running Dark Soul, which you got to run in X Sabers this format, please don't forget to activate the effect during the end phase. One thing that can hurt Dark Soul is DD Crow, but that's not seeing a lot of play this format because a lot of decks aren't graveyard dependent as they were last format. Right now it's all about control. Whoever controls the game wins, and X Sabers really are lacking in that department, which is why they got to take in a lot of different cards they haven't been using last format, which I'm going to get into a little bit later. Moving on, Double X Saber Ember's Blade. It's basically the giant rat of the deck. He's very useful this format. He can help maintain a monster on the field, which is a must. Remember, control is good this format. And it can be used for level 6 summon Basically Hyunlei, Goyo Guardian, Brionic if necessary. It's just an easy way of maintaining yourself on your feet and not being open to, you know, complete devastation for one turn. Which decks like Fish OTK, Gravekeepers, Infernity, even GBs can pull off easily now because they have the speed now that the format has been redefined and we have progressed past the whole slump of the beginning of a format. Next I'm gonna go into Double X Saber Gotham's. Gotham's is amazing because you can tribute any X Saber on the field and pop a card in your opponent's hand. Plus, he's a level 9 3100 Beast Stick and one of the only synchro cards that can use 2 tuners to create it. So you can basically use 2 Arabellums and a Hyunlei, and bam, you have, you know, Gotham's. Because his requirements, there you go. His requirements basically say 1 tuner and 1 or more Earth type monsters. So you could just go Hyunlei and Airbellum or Fulhelm Knight. But yeah, it's amazing. It's such a great card. 3100 Beast Stick. He beats over other popular cards such as Stardust Assault, Red Eyes, Darkness Dragon, Inferni Doom Dragon, Gladiator Bleeds Heraclinos. He even gives a Geyserus a fight, so he's a must. If you're gonna run X Sabers, run him. Plus, he can combo well with Dark Soul on the field. So if you have Dark Soul and Gotham's, definitely a plus. Moving on, spells. Saber Slash, it's pretty okay. I wouldn't say it's like broken. It's not like, oh my god, you gotta run Saber Slash. Saber Slash is more of a card that can help wipe out numerous cards at once, which is handy. It's very handy. So you can take out cards like, you know, Blackwing, Black Whirlwind, or for example, Bottomless Trap Hole if it's face down. And the requirement is pretty simple. All you need is a face-up X Saber, and you get to destroy as many cards for as many face-up X Sabers you have on the field. So it's not bad. It's not bad, and it can't be countered by Starlight Road. So if your opponent decides to side deck Starlight Road for that Hyunlei, and you decide to play Saber Slash, definitely a plus. You could just go right in and blow it up since it's not guaranteed that you're going to be destroying cards yet. So they can't flip Starlight Road. Another card I want to get into is Book of Moon. Book of Moon is amazing this format. I've said it in a couple videos back. It's a definite must in 3. It's a staple in most decks, and I will continue to promote Book of Moon. Run 3 Book of Moons. Book of Moons are a must. If you're facing X Sabers, you're going to see 3 Book of Moons. Any deck you're facing this format that's trying to be competitive will have 3 Book of Moons. Book of Moons is amazing. And it combos amazingly. I mean, this is so broken with Fulhelm Knight. If you have a face-up Fulhelm Knight and you Book of Moon to face down a Caius that just popped your back row or something, or you just they just popped a monster and you summon Fulhelm and go Book of Moon, it's definite plus. Book of Moon is so good. Plus, it could stop your opponent's tuners. It can help your monsters. You could abuse flip effects. It's amazing. I think that's pretty much it for the spells I'm going to recommend for X Saber players and what you might see in X Saber decks. Everything else is pretty generic. The MSTs, Giant Trunade, Cold Wave. Oh yeah, Cold Wave is something they need to survive on. They will Cold Wave and then go Hyunlei, and it will definitely devastate you, so watch out for that. Trap cards. Gotham's Emergency Call is pretty self-explanatory. It's a double monster reborn for X Saber monsters. The thing is though, it can be chained by your opponent. So if you see an X Saber player, definitely side deck a Gotham's Emergency Call, because whatever they can Gotham's Emergency Call to, you can chain and steal from, basically nulling and voiding their own choices. So it's like they wasted a Gotham's E-Call for a turn and you have their monsters, and you could basically synchro if it's, you know, your turn. You could synchro right then and there using their own monsters. You could go Dark Soul and Fulhelm. I wouldn't recommend Dark Soul, however, because then they would get to search. And that's something you definitely don't want to give them. You don't want them to have that speed. You don't want them to move around all willy-nilly. Another card I would say they run in their trap lineup is Saberhole. Well, you know Glads have their own Divine Wrath, which is basically, you know, Gladiator Beast War Chariot. Well, Saberhole is basically like their own Horn of Heaven. Except it's way better. It can stop a normal summon, flip summon, special summon, anything. However, it can't stop cards like Call It or Haunted because it can't stop card effects. So you're pretty stuck in hitting the balls if you try that. Yeah, so let's not go for that. Another reason I would say Saberhold is good is because basically it just stops so many things right then and there. It's a definite staple in the X Saber deck, so you're going to be seeing that maybe in twos. I wouldn't recommend three. I would rather run two Saberholds, two Bottomless, and two Solemn Warnings, or maybe two Compulsory Evacuation Devices and two Solemn Warnings. Solemn Warning is another card that you will be seeing in a competitive deck this format, so definitely keep an eye out for that. It's a counter trap, so it's very hard to deal with. Same with Saberhold. They're both counter traps and they're both annoying. Techs I have seen this format for X Sabers. X Sabers I have seen running Debris Dragon, which is amazing. I see them go into like Dark Soul and then create Black Rose, nuke the field, and get a plus. Without having to use Fall Troll or Gotham's Emergency Call, that is amazing. That is wow. I have seen them also run Caius. Caius is also another broken card this format that a lot of decks are teching, especially Plant Synchro and the non-traditional Gravekeeper deck, which is the one with Deck Devastation Virus without Pot of Dualities and such. Yeah, Caius is definitely a nice tech I have seen. I did not expect that from a certain X Saber player I played a couple days back. It was amazing, very good. Definitely put my Red Nova Dragon on a on a loop right there. It was like, what? Very good tech, very amazing. Congrats to that X Saber player if he has a YouTube and he's watching this. Thank you for the duels, bro. That was amazing. Yeah, X Sabers right now are top tier. They're kind of slow, however. They really need to fumble about their own cards in order to actually do anything. They can't just get pluses from your own plays. They have to force you to do things like attack their own monsters and such. They really have to play a lot of cards to sustain themselves. Another tech I've seen is Trap Stun. Trap Stun is very good for X Sabers. They definitely need it because traps can really shut them down, really hurt them. I have not seen an X Saber deck play Real Decree, and that's because they really need their own traps. They can't afford to just shut down their own traps like that. However, Trap Stun can act as a switch, but I wouldn't recommend it. Definitely would not recommend it. Just keep Trap Stun and pray to God that your really good monsters don't get bottomless. After side decking for X Sabers, Gotham's Emergency Call, definitely. Side deck that against them. It just hurts them so bad. Starlight Road for Hyunlei. Definitely recommend that because Hyunlei is the biggest threat in the deck right now. It's not even Gotham's because Gotham's you can easily walk right over or remove. But if they go Cold Wave and Hyunlei, you're pretty hurt for at least 2 turns. You're not going to be able to come back for 2 turns unless you have like an amazingly good frog deck where you just, oh, Treeborn Frog and there you go, tribute for Caius, comeback, you know? But you still got their back row to worry about. So yeah, definitely Starlight Road. And yeah, that ends it for deep into the meta, understanding the meta this week. Next week, I think I will be doing Infernities, and I'll be doing my own deck profile. So keep tuned for that, definitely. So this is ZM, ZeroOmegaMan. Peace, guys.